cooling load if we can reduce those overall energy needs that the lighting systems have. The types of lighting we're going to look at today, obviously fluorescent is a traditional source we use, induction, and then LED we're going to spend some time on. So starting with the fluorescent lighting systems, you know, what are the advantages? Well, I can get 30,000 hours minimum. Typically, anymore you get 36, 42,000 hours. It's a reliable technology, as I mentioned. The only disadvantage to it is that when you start to get into those higher efficiency sources, you are going to spend a little bit more money. And in that, you know, when we look at this is our standard where we're at now, the F32 T8s. This is the most important category when you look at lumens per watt. How many lumens do I get per watt? I'm at 85 lumens per watt. I get 30 to 36,000 hours. When you look down, when you start to hear, what do the FT28s give me? Where is that? Well, now I'm down, you know, over here to 86 lumens per watt. I get some more lamp life, but I'm also spending a little bit more money. There are some other options. The Ultra Max, which is down here, the FT28. I'm getting 99 lumens per watt. Definitely some longer life hours, but I'm spending money. So when we talked before, we showed the image of the plug loads and how many options there are. That's the macroscopic view. When we get to the microscopic view of what does this one individual system give us, there's a lot of choices we need to make too that may affect the budget, that may affect the overall output energy in the building. So you've got to look macroscopically, but also microscopically at each individual system that you're looking at for the building. Induction lighting, just a few minutes on this. The reason why this is a good source, it's an electrodeless system, similar to fluorescent, but you're getting rid of the failures of the electrodes. You're getting about 100,000 hours. So areas where you've got needs of getting relamping, or that may be a problem. It doesn't get affected as much by heat or cooling. They like to be on a lot. The problem with them is right now is they're definitely a higher cost and the fixture options are limited. This is typically what you're seeing in the industry down here. You do get some that get that traditional light bulb look, but not quite the point source, not trying to get the light out of the fixture as much. So again, an option for some systems, but due to the limited fixture stock or fixture availability, may not be the best. Where we want to look at trying to take this road to net zero, we want to focus on LED lighting. Just the components, a little bit of terminology here. When we look at an LED fixture, we obviously have the LED itself. We're getting about 50,000 hours. We get the housing, the reflector. The most important piece, though, is the heat sink. The LED itself is not hot, but all the components and electronics that go along with it are generating some heat. So we want to get that away from the LED, getting us some longer lamp life or longer light source life. Some of the other options that are nice when you're starting to compare it to a dimmable ballast, whether it's fluorescent or metal halide, you can do a dimmable driver, and the cost of that is minimal. So there's some offset there. The advantage is 75% less than incandescent. The efficiency, you get a lot more light out of these now than you used to. The color's really good, and I'm going to show that over here. Instant on, so some of the disadvantages of other light sources. We've got the instant on that LED has. Disadvantages, again, cost is going to come up several times here, but there's still a higher cost. And then the performance can be affected by temperature. So what we did, it was interesting. We actually did a study. We've done this presentation several times. We were in Louisville, and it was a space similar to this, but the ceilings were much lower. They were about 11-foot ceilings, 12-foot ceilings. So we said, well, let's do a study on that. If we would have done this space 10 years ago, what would we have done? Well, we probably would have done incandescent downlights, maybe some fluorescents. But if we did incandescent downlights, what was the existing system here? And then if we did LED, dimmable LED, what would we do? The important thing on this slide is you look at your lamp life here. We got 50,000 hours on the LED. We got about 20 to 10 on some of the fluorescents because you're using compact fluorescents. 750 on the 750 hours on the incandescent. The biggest thing here is that when you look at the life of the system and you're talking LED lighting, I get 22 years out of the LED. So you look at your total initial cost. Obviously, the initial cost of the LED system is a lot more, $13,000 versus $4,000 versus $1,100 or $1,700. My big cost here is energy savings. I spent $7,000 in energy over 22 years versus $17,000 of what they have now versus $41,000 if I would have done it 10 years ago. What that means is I could do LED lighting now over the course of that system and save money. The time is now in that space to do that. You could have done that and not spend any more money. Obviously, a little bit of initial first cost, but over the life of the system, it's a better choice. We did the same analysis for this room. We didn't do the incandescent, but we do have recessed 2x2 fluorescents. We have some wall wash. We've got some recessed incandescents. Similar study, a lot of numbers I know, but the end result was over the life of the system, my LED's higher. Why is that? Well, I've got higher spaces. I got a higher volume in here. So it would take me more LED lights to get to the same result than I would have with this type of system. So again, that road, those roadblocks, those detour signs, you can't just make a judgment saying, well, in every conference space I do, I'm just going to do LED lighting because it's the best choice. You have to get microscopically and look at the system and say, is this the best choice for this space? And that's just one room, so you can kind of see how this adds up. We did something